Life is hard, but it's oh so worth it. Spoonies out there, it's Neely. If you don't know what a spoonie is, you are about to find out. I will put a link down below of the Spoon Theory story if you want to read that or use it to send to any of your friends, which I will be telling you about. So, I post every Monday, and I think that's it. Well, let's get on to the video. For those of you that have never heard this story, it is called the Spoon Theory, and it is a commonly used story that people with chronic illnesses usually use to help people better understand how they feel. So what I have done is I have printed out the story, and the girl in this story, the original story, has lupus, but I have gone through and changed it to pertain a little bit more to me. And at the end, I've also kind of wrote in detail a little about my condition so I can better understand it. And I'm going to go to an antique store and get cute little spoons. And I'm going to attach it to the little story and give it to my friends to help them better understand it and to know kind of like a little bit more of what I'm going through. So again, I said I put that link down below for the Spoon Theory if you want to go through and do that yourself. Also, I have, if you can see it, I have this cute little necklace. I just got it from my grandparents for my birthday. But if you search Spoon Theory necklaces, you will come up with thousands of spoon necklaces. And I just wear it as a reminder to me to always remember to be careful with my spoons. And kind of for the people that have read this story before, it's kind of a reminder to them and reminds them what I'm going through. So with that, let's get on to the story. So the story starts off with a girl sitting in a diner with her best friend and just talking and laughing like usual. And the girl with lupus goes to take her medicine with her snack like she usually does. And her friend asks what it feels like to have lupus. The girl with lupus is a little bit confused because she goes to all her doctor's appointments with me. She's seen me crying, and in my worst moments, what more is there to get? What does she not understand? And she kind of keeps telling her and explaining what she has to go through. And her friend says, no, not physically, but what does it feel like to be you, to be sick? The girl with lupus starts looking around for answers, kind of like, I don't know what to say, because she's thought, I've never fully understood it myself. How do I expect somebody else to understand it? She finally has a thought come to her mind, so she grabs several spoons from tables around her and hands them to her friend. Her friend's a little bit confused, and she starts explaining that the difference between being sick and being healthy is that when you're healthy, you don't have to make choices or constantly think about things. You don't have to plan your day out and say, okay, well, if I do this, I can't do this because I won't have the energy, and you just have like an unlimited amount of energy to do anything you want to do. She asked her to count the spoons, and she counted and said she had 12, and she said, no, I want more. And she said, no, you can't have more. I've wanted more my whole life, and it's just not possible. So the friend, being kind of quite upset, she thought, okay, maybe this will work. She starts having her friend listing off daily activities, and her friend starts, okay, getting up takes a full spoon. It's not just, oh, quick, get out of bed. You are usually exhausted and tired and don't have any energy, so even getting out of bed can be really hard. She talks about taking a shower, takes another one, eating breakfast, getting dressed, and by the time she's even ready for work, she's already used half of her spoons. Now she has to make it through the rest of her day, and they talk about what else she does for the rest of her day and how many spoons she uses. And then she gets to the end of the day and she's hungry. She can either go out to dinner, but then she won't have any more spoons to drive home, or she can make dinner, but she won't have the energy to clean it up. And so it kind of goes on talking about how you are constantly having to count your spoons, constantly having to think about your decisions, and how life is so much harder when you're living with a chronic illness. And sometimes you can plan ahead and think, okay, well, I'll just steal some spoons from tomorrow. But then think of how hard tomorrow will be when you don't have as many spoons. And I think that this story is super relatable. So I encourage you all to use the link below to read this story because there's a lot more detail, and I am guessing you will relate to it a lot. I also encourage you to share it with your family and friends. It has helped so many of my family and friends to better understand what I'm going through because, let's face it, it's a really hard thing to understand, and it's the invisible illness. Chronic illnesses are usually invisible. So my family and friends look at me and think, she's fine. And so I see it. I'm sure it's really hard to understand it. So this can just help them understand it a little bit more. So I hope that this story can help you guys out a little bit and to help others understand and when people understand, then you're not going to feel so alone. Remember that I post a new video every Monday, so I'll see you next week.